It is May the 17th, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is the Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Wreck site in St. Simons Sound. And today the VB 10,000 was moved back from its position over the Golden Ray. They backed it off the bow area up there, so it's no longer over the wreck. And it looked like some inspections were going on. They started with lowering the spreader bars, bringing those down. And we got to take a closer look today. They didn't have as much water flowing into the ship. We only saw one master stream on the ship today, but we did get to look at some of this burn areas that happened after the fire occurred on Friday. And we could see down the hull, we could actually see some dimpling. It looked like in some of the areas between the ribs or other support structures inside that hull, we could see some dimpling in there. So we know that heat was causing that metal plating to kind of move around, and it definitely warped some of it. How that plays out into it, I don't know. I'm sure they'll have a team assess those areas of the ship and evaluate how to progress now for the wreck removal. I don't know if it's going to play a part in things changing or the plans changing, but we shall see. And today we'll just show you what we saw. Now, the master streams had been cut off from the hull side as well as what was the top side of the ship. We didn't see that water flowing in there. It was just coming in on the stern area of the wreck. They had that one stream still in there cooling and this is the area where we saw the massive amount of fire blowing out of the ship on Friday. But they were still lobbing water in there in an effort, I guess, to cool the contents of the Golden Ray, what's still in there, just dissipating heat. Just trying to make sure that fire is out. It did not take long after the water stopped flowing from the fire streams for the oxidation to take place from that seawater on that burnt metal. The paint no longer on it. It didn't take long for it to start to really rust up. One thing we did notice was that the environmental barrier on both sides of the barrier, both the north gate and the south gate, are still open, and we see the sections of the north gate tied to the Weeks 533 barge. And one thing we're certainly hoping that they can figure out a way to get the big part of the barrier at least closed off somewhat. And I know that they're still working in and out of there, and they're going to be for a little bit. But anything they can do to stop the plastic debris and burnt product that is now streaming off the wreck site would be very beneficial. We saw quite a bit of that today, and then we got that coming up. But going back around the wreck site, we took a look at some of these burn areas that were visible, not only on the hull, but also on what is now the top side of the ship, or that side of the ship where the lifting lugs are. And we got some pretty good pictures of that area as well. And this has got to be the area that took the most heat, the top of the ship. And the damage that may have been caused to the structure of the steel around these lugs has got to be a critical area for, I'm sure, the engineers to look at and to determine if if there's any damage up there that may preclude them from re-engaging and cutting with the VB after they get that checked out. So we took a look, and you can see these areas in there where it looked like she took a little bit of heat up on the top. Quite a bit of fire load that was visible. So we know this area did suffer and took a good bit of heat. We see the VB now, and again the darkened areas of the superstructure where that smoke and those hot gases were coming out of the ship, and darkened, soot covered. Don't know the extent of the damage here. We've had several people comment about if the paint's blistered, there could be some need for some concern. Hopefully they'll get in there and take a look at that. While we were out there, the maintenance barge showed up. It began its trek, as we have seen every time they have completed a cut, or during the time where the cables had to be replaced. Maintenance barge comes out. Well, she's back out again. And they took it into the environmental barrier back to the VB 10,000. And we saw them kind of lower the spreader bars down in that direction towards the barge. Another thing we noticed was there were personnel on the ship today. We got a glimpse of folks up there, so I guess they're beginning their survey of the Golden Ray to look for heat stress and those types of problems. But they're moving ahead with that work to try to determine if and there's any structural damage there. Now, we did have a news crew on the boat today. They wanted to come out and look at the impacts from the fire, and almost immediately we began to find debris, burnt pieces in the water, and they were there and got some video of that. There was just quite a bit of it out there. We scooped up a little bit while they were there on the boat, but we did see there's quite a bit out there. Well, hey, that's the report today. We'll ask you, if you haven't done it yet, click on that subscribe button. Send us some comments. Most of all, we want you guys to stay safe out there.